Welcome to Rebecca Sounds Reveille. Today we're going to be talking about something that is absolutely essential to you and your health, which will also affect everything that you do for your own self, as well as those around you, your family, colleagues, work. We want to change your life, and there's a lot of questions about what's going on with the diet industry today. You have so many choices. You don't know which one's right. There's even been talk that some of the ingredients that has been put in these supplements really are only fiber. And so we're going to talk today about being educated and understanding the diet industry with none other than an absolute professional who will have the answers to our questions today. Meline is a medical doctor and expert in nutrition and exercise. This is super important. We need to combine the two, nutrition and exercise, to really make our bodies strong. And a lot of times we focus only on one or the other. Or if we're looking for something with immediate results, we'll just overindulge on both just to get some kind of a result. And we're going to find out today, really, is that healthy? Because I don't think it is. But the doctor here today is going to share with us how he began his education in nutrition and exercise, which was over 40 years ago. So this is someone who is not only personally knowledgeable in it, he's professionally knowledgeable in it. He has discovered that being overweight and out of shape is just not something that's healthy. But where do you turn for all of this? I mean, really, think about it. Where do you go? We look at quick fixes. And there's just so much more to this. And I know that we're going to have an absolutely unbelievable discussion, because I think the things that I've just shared with you are things that questions that may have run through your mind. And I don't think that they're new questions to the doctor. Welcome, Dr. Meline. We're super excited to have you on the show.
Great, and thank you. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. I am so delighted because you are just prolific with what you have to share today. You have an amazing background. You have 40 years or more in research regarding diet nutrition, but there's more. Would you like to share a little bit about that with the audience? Because this really needs to come from you. I've got to tell you.
Okay. Well, this is how I got started in all of it. Like you said, it was started over 40 years ago. I was in the military. I was out of shape, overweight, smoking, typical things that people do. I just couldn't stand it anymore. I decided I've got to do something about it. But I had nowhere to go. I didn't know how to what to turn to. So I started investigating ways to exercise, and it's the old thing, you got to exercise to lose weight and things like that, which is a fallacy we'll get into later. But I decided that I wanted to lift weights as a form of exercise. So I decided I got some information on exercising, lifting weights and things, got started in that. But at the same time, I also realized that nutrition was important. I didn't know how important or really how to go about it. So I started reading up on nutrition and whatever I could get into. So this went on for a number of years with me exercising, getting into it. And the more I got into exercising, when I first started out, I found some pictures of bodybuilders. And I see these guys and I thought, whoa, how can anybody possibly look like that? You look at yourself in the mirror and you look at these pictures, well, no, that could never be me.
Right.
But I thought, well, I don't care about that. I just want to get into shape and feel good about myself. So I started down this road. Well, as you start getting better shape and you start eating better and you start losing weight, you start feeling better about it, and you start looking at yourself and say, wow, look at the changes I've made. This is great. So that kept me going on the path of, I kind of switched from just weightlifting into bodybuilding. I like that. But to go along with that, bodybuilders eat a very strict diet, and supplements is very much a part of a bodybuilder's routine, their nutrition. Mm-hmm. So like everybody else, I got into supplements, protein supplements. And back then, there wasn't nearly as many supplements. Well, there was vitamin supplements, and there was some protein supplements, things like that. But there wasn't that many. But it was still a big part of everybody's regimen. As time went on, got into this a few years, of course, I couldn't always afford the supplements. They're quite expensive.
Yes.
There's times I used the supplements, times I didn't use the supplements. And what I started noticing was during the times I wasn't using the supplements, I was doing just as well as the times when I was using the supplements.
Interesting.
So this got me kind of wondering, and you talk to other people what they're doing and reading and things like this, as well as just reading straight nutrition information, just finding out as much as I could. And it just seemed to me that I wasn't getting anything out of the nutrition. I'm thinking, am I using the wrong supplements? Am I doing my exercising? Why aren't I seeing any benefit from this? And then I got to the point where I was going to go to med school. And I'm thinking, oh, this is great. Med school's going to answer all these questions for me, and this is going to be great.
Right.
It was a huge disappointment because I get into med school, and they teach almost nothing about nutrition. And so I come out of there with, yeah, well, there's so much that they have to teach physicians. They just don't have time to teach nutrition. So it's not surprising they don't teach anything, but I was hopeful, but come out of there with nothing. So once I got out of there, got through my residency, I started looking into it more on my own. And I had a lot of research experience, even when I was doing my undergraduate. I have an undergraduate in electrical engineering. Even when I was doing that, I was working medical research. And I actually have some published articles before I even graduated with a BS degree.
Oh, this is fantastic.
So I have some experience with research and, what's valid research and not, and I did some other research along the way. But so I started digging into this issue of why aren't these supplements doing anything?
Yes.
And what really boils down to, and we'll talk about several aspects of this, I'm sure, throughout our conversation, I'd answer people's questions, but what I really discovered was that the supplements were not necessary. And the reason I wasn't seeing any benefit was because I was getting plenty of nutrition from what I was eating, my diet, because I had learned to eat a very healthy diet. And the supplements added nothing except expense.
Right.
And so as I went along, I thought, I need to write a book because it got so irritating to me to see all these advertisements about these supplements and diet plans and all this stuff. I thought, I need to write a book that just exposes all this information. So I started collecting information, research on these diet plans and supplements. And I had a 2 or 3 foot stack of research that piled up on my desk. But it just kept coming so fast. And I thought, this is crazy because I can never debunk everything that people come out with.
Right.
And kind of going along with this, I was trying to educate patients in clinic. I'd see somebody and they'd have a question, and I'd kind of tell them the truth, and I'd see people really responded to the truth. And I thought, this is great. But I couldn't get enough information across in a short visit. So I wanted to put some pamphlets and things together and hand those out. But it's just like all the information, other information that's out there. You can give them a little bit of a hint of what they need to know, but not enough to really help them use that knowledge and get engaged in being healthy and doing what they really need to do. So I realized at that point, I just need to write a book. And the intent of the book was to educate people, what do you really need to know about nutrition, physiology, and things like this? And then how are you going to use this knowledge? And I was kind of focusing on the weight issue because that's still a big issue, and it's a growing issue.
Mm-hmm. So no pun intended, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of focused on that. So I touch on why is there a weight problem? Why do people have a weight problem? And then once you have this knowledge, you know now about the nutrition you need to know and the physiology. And this is real basic stuff. You don't have to have any education to understand all of this very well. It's real easy stuff.
Okay.
It's necessary to know. I kind of relate it to driving a car. You don't just jump out there in a car and take off and drive it. You need to know a few basic things about how to drive that car.
Yes.
So you need to know a few basic things about how your body functions so that you know that you're doing the right thing. And where the supplement and the diet people take advantage of that, they know people don't know any of that stuff. And so they're just open, free license to do whatever they want to come up with whatever program or whatever they want to do. And their aim is to make money. Don't kid yourself. These people aren't coming up with these programs to be the good Samaritan and teach you how to be healthy and everything. They have an agenda. And
that's a really good point. That is a really good point.
And their agenda is to make money. Now, if somehow, some way they help you start their diet program and stuff, and you get benefit from it, great. But that's not their major goal. And I think this may come up later, but I'll touch on it now. The diet programs have been around for centuries. Back in the 1700s, there was a doctor in England who come up with his notes on dieting. And he had a weight problem. He was really obese and had gout and all this other stuff. So he came up with a way of eating that allowed him to lose his weight, and his gout went away. This is great. So he published I can't say a book, but he published some pamphlets and things, or whatever it was back then, about dieting. This is his diet. This is great. And it just goes on and on. There's hundreds of diets throughout the years where people have come up with, this is the way I ate, and this is what I did. It allowed me to lose my weight. So this is what everybody should do.
Right. And
it just goes on and on. You come up into the 1950s, and you get Dr. Atkins coming out with his diet plan. Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is not new. It's been around since the 60s.
Okay.
And the person who developed that was basically a housewife who loved to bake and cook and stuff, and having problems, oh boy, I'm getting fat eating all these goodies I'm making.
Interesting.
So he came up with a plan of, how to eat so that you can control your weight. Well, all the diet plans, there isn't one diet plan out there that somebody has scientifically sent out and says, you need to do this, this, and this, and scientifically, it's proven. Because you can't do that. There are innumerable ways to eat healthily and properly to be nutritionally fit and maintain your weight.
Yes.
So anything these people do is just their idea or something that they've tried, or they come up with a plan for you to eat this way to lose weight.
Right.
So that's the first thing you have to realize about all the diet plans that are out there. It's just somebody's idea of a way of eating that they like to eat, they think you should do. In some way, they've kind of worked into that supplements or something that you need to buy from them in order to follow this diet plan, or maybe you have to purchase the diet plan from them.
Right.
And that's how they're making money.
And this is very interesting, because there are so many people who are looking for results so quickly that they will try every single thing. But you know what? Before we go any further, I want to do something, and that is, what branch of service were you in?
I was in the Air Force.
I want to give you a great big shout out. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Delighted to speak with another veteran. I am a veteran myself, and
thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Not of the Air Force, but of the Marine Corps. And I've got to tell you, you guys have the best chow halls and the nicest.
They did that pretty good food, yeah.
Yes, and great barracks. Maybe you guys call them more like dorms, because they were way better than what we've had. And I've got to just thank you so much. I do not want to miss that opportunity.
Well, thank you, and thank you as well.
But going back, you have seen so much. You have tried so much. You've talked to people who are really frustrated. And because you yourself have personally experienced this, and you're seeing these things and knowing that they've probably gone to their doctor and they're not getting the questions answered. And we know also that there are different physiological things that will allow one person to lose weight easier than it will for someone else, especially if let's say there's someone who is experienced diabetes or insulin resistance type of situation, or maybe they're on the absolutely opposite side of the spectrum. And so what does someone do? I mean, your book give me the title of your book.
Yeah, the book is called Lies Exposed: The Truth About Dieting, Supplements, Weight Loss, and Exercise.
Yes. And that means that there is a lot of knowledge to share on all of these things, which you can present within your own self. So what do you say? I mean, because there's so many different challenges, physiological that we have.
Yeah. What people have to realize is that the main reason that they're having a weight issue is because they eat improperly.
Okay.
And you hear from the FDA and the CDC, not the CDC, but the FDA and the NIH and people like that who deal with health issues.
Yes.
You hear them all the time, oh, eat fruits and vegetables, do this and that and the other. They have, I mean, years and years ago, they come out with the idea of these food pyramids and the food groups.
Right.
And they divided the food groups into these major divisions for a reason. And that is they all have similar nutritional composition.
Okay.
So when you look at the groups like the cereal grains, all the cereal grains have similar nutritional profiles. All of the vegetables have similar nutritional profiles. Although vegetables have a huge range, you have things like lettuce and celery have no calories, all the way to potatoes and corn that have a significant amount, or beans that have a lot of calories.
Right.
And so there's a wide variety in the vegetable group. And then you get into fruits. And technically, a lot of the things we call vegetables are actually fruits.
Yes. Yes.
By the strict definition of fruits, it's whatever grows from the flower. And so tomato, squash, all these things, eggplants, they're all fruits, technically.
Okay, so technically then, is a sunflower seed a fruit?
It comes from the flower.
Yes.
So technically, you'd have to call that a fruit.
I love it. Okay, this is fascinating. Okay.
But the real kicker here is, culinarily wise, when chefs cook and things, they combine certain foods because they know they taste well together.
Right.
But the real classification, when you look at fruit, what we typically call fruit and what we call vegetables, vegetables are more complex carbohydrates or nothing, high in nutrition, and there's a wide variety of things you can eat. Fruits have a lot of sugar in them.
Yeah.
So we think of a fruit, like a peach or a pear or something like that, or raspberries, whatever you're talking about, they have a significant sugar content.
Right.
So
let me just ask you real quick to interject. Mm-hmm. That means that our bodies convert it into glucose, and just like you were eating a candy bar, in essence.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, the big difference, this may or may not come up in the time we have. The big difference between is say, wow, well, it's okay if I eat a candy bar then, because if I eat fruit, it's a lot of sugar. If I eat candy bar. Now, the big difference is the fruit has a lot of nutrition that comes along with it. A lot of good fiber, vitamins, minerals, and the sugar. It gives your body the nutrients it needs to process that sugar. When you eat a candy bar, it has a lot of refined sugar, and there's virtually no nutrition in it. So now you're handing your body a bunch of calories to deal with without any nutritional benefit. So, yeah, you could lose weight even eating candy bars or whatever you want to do, but nutritionally, you're going to be in horrible shape.
Yes, and your body's going to show that because yes, the body is going to show it. It's going to come out in complexion, and it's going to come out on the skin in other areas and it'll just be very obvious. This is very fascinating. So but you've got more here to tell.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
I love it.
As far as the food groups go, so there's 5 major food groups: the cereal grains, vegetables, fruits. Then you got your meat protein group, and then dairy. And if the nutritionists put them into a pyramid form back then, because the volume that you need to eat from these different food groups changes depending on the food group. So they put cereal grains on the bottom because typically people who are working hard need the extra calories from the cereal grains group.
Okay.
Then they put vegetables and then fruits. And some people will put vegetables and fruits side by side, but fruits have a lot of sugar, and most people don't really need that sugar, so they go above vegetables. Then your meat and protein group. People think that they have to eat a lot of protein to be healthy, and really, people badmouth vegetarians, say, oh, yeah, it's not healthy, they don't get enough protein stuff. But actually, if you watch what you eat as vegetarian, you get plenty of protein.
Interesting.
The meat in that category puts the capstone on. It makes sure that you can eat from a wide variety of vegetables and fruits and things that may not give you enough protein, but give you plenty of nutrition. And so if you eat some meat, that's going to put the capstone on that protein group. And then dairy is kind of its own thing. And dairy is really comprised of the cream part, the butter fat, and the calcium component.
Okay.
It has other nutritional components, but you can get those from the other groups very easily. You don't really need those from dairy. But the real nutritional value of dairy comes from the butter fat. So if you eat butter forget margarine, margarine poison, but if you eat butter, that'll give you the nutritional components. And then you could eat cheese, or if you like to drink milk, drink away. I love milk.
Okay.
I drink whole milk.
That's what I was just going to ask you. So do I go
Yeah.
low fat, 1%, 2%, non-fat? What do I do? Drink it like it's made.
Yeah, I think it's better. It tastes better, and it's nutritionally better for you. Now, if you're really needing to get rid of some calories, it would be okay to just drink 1%, 2% milk, just to get the calcium component.
I see.
If you get that from cheese is going to have more calories. But if you want to drink, if you like milk, you want to drink 1 or 2% just to get the calcium component. Eat some cheese is going to give you another calcium component, and then eat the butter for the nutritional component. Then you're set.
I love it.
And so that's your 5 food groups, and arranged in the pyramid. That's the volume that you should eat from.
And so on there, though, is it going to talk about portion size? Because I think our eyes can be very deceiving when it comes to portions.
It is. And people eat a lot more than they think they eat. You know, if you just have yourself dish up a plate of food and say, well, yeah, that's what looks good to me, and have somebody dish up for you what is prescribed to eat from those different foods, there's a huge difference. And you'd think that somebody's trying to starve you if they fed you portions that they say to eat. You have developed habits of what you like to eat and how much you like to eat and when and all these other things. So the main thing is you've got to realize what nutrition is.
Yes.
Or, what comprises nutritious food, and that's easy. It's just unprocessed, as much least processed food you can get from all these 5 food groups, and then eating them in proper proportion. It just boils down to as simple as that. But the portion size comes in. I'm just going to say it comes in with calories. How much of that food do you need? And that's where the portion size comes in. But again, this is habitual, something you need to learn to deal with, and without the kind of stress and anxiety that the typical diet plan will put on you.
Yes, and I am thinking, and this is a great big question, because there are many of us who come from childhood homes where a parent has said you need to eat everything on that plate, and that has become customary, habitual. So as an adult, I'm looking at that plate and I don't want to leave anything there, even if someone has served me a portion size that I know I shouldn't eat. How do we handle that and overcome the mental challenge or block, or I don't know what you want to call it, because that's sort of ingrained from a very young age.
Right. And again, it's this habitual component that people have to deal with.
Okay.
And I kind of related, I talk a lot about this in the book, because once you have all this knowledge that I'm going to throw at you, and the book, you're thinking, gee, this book must be 1,000 pages or 2,000 pages if he's going to be. No, it's about 200 pages, about 190 pages. Mm-hmm. But what I've done over the years, I spent about 10 years writing this book. But what I did is I wrote this voluminous amount of information, and then I started honing it down. What do people need to know? Oh, they don't need to know this. And I got it down to a very concise, precise amount of information.
Yes, very succinct. Mm-hmm.
And so, there's a lot more information you could know, but that's the essentials. If you know the stuff that's in the book, you know everything that you need to know is to be healthy and get to the weight you want to be at and those sorts of things. If you want to know more, there's lots more information to know and to dig into, but it's not going to help you with maintain your weight. It's not going to help you be healthy. It's just going to add more knowledge to you, but it's not really going to be beneficial because you don't need it.
Right. And so let's talk about the next component to that, and that's exercise. So you have a spectrum here. Let's say, okay, so now let's just say I've read everything. I am on board. My frame of mind is ready to go, but now I need to bring the second component in of the exercise. And then we have a variety. We have seniors who are doing, silver sneaker program or whatever, people who are medically challenged with disabilities. And then you have someone who's extremely athletic. And so how do we address that to really hone it in and make it so that we can own it and combine the two things that are really important to make us extremely healthy?
Okay. First off, there are two aspects to health, and one is nutrition, which we get from our diet, and the other one is physiologic, which we get from the exercise.
Okay.
Now, one of the biggest fallacies being perpetuated out there today is that you have to exercise to lose weight.
Okay.
No, you don't. Matter of fact, that's even worse, because if you're going at it from that perspective, because you can easily out-eat anything that you can do at the gym. No matter how hard you work out, you can out-eat that exercise. You just don't burn that many calories compared to what you can eat.
Sure.
And if you compare it to an athlete, take a professional bodybuilder, they might eat 7,000 calories a day, but they have to meticulously watch their diet.
I see.
So that they don't eat the wrong things and gain more weight than they're trying to gain, but yet they provide the nutritional components they need for the bodies to grow and be healthy.
I get it.
Two sides.
I get it. That's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, because as you were talking, I'm thinking about when I've been on a treadmill and I do my 1.5 to 2 miles and it says you've only burned 300 calories. I'm thinking I've been on here for almost an hour, or, depending on how fast I can go for the day, but 300 calories. And I've just spent all this time driving to the gym, getting on there. Then I've got a shower afterwards. And you know what? 300 calories is like 2 piece, or maybe even 1 piece of pizza or something. I mean, or ice cream bar, those are unhealthy foods, but you understand what I am saying. And I think that that's the same kind of thing you're trying to convey as well. Yeah,
because people have ingrained in them, and again, it's from these diet programs and exercise programs, supplement providers. Get to the gym and exercise, you can lose some weight. And that's a huge fallacy. So weight loss occurs at the dinner table. Physiological occurs at the gym.
I love it.
If you want to maximize your health, if you want to be as healthy as you're capable of being, you need nutrition and exercise.
Okay.
But nutrition has to come first. You need to learn to eat well first. Because you go to the gym and you beat yourself up and you're nutritionally unfit, you're really doing damage to your body, because you're demanding things of your body that it's not capable of producing, because you're not giving it the components it needs to produce that energy you're demanding of it.
That's really an interesting thought, because there might be some who would think, well, okay, I'm still eating like this, but I know that if I at least exercise a little bit, that'll help my heart, that will, provide me energy. And then they're finding the next day they're a lot more tired and they're thinking, I'm supposed to get energy from exercise. What's going on? This makes total sense as you're talking about it, because the right types of nutrients that are going to come into our body is going to allow us to really absorb the benefits from the exercises that we're doing. And we have to know then. So I'm going to kind of go with thinking that I learned portion control and nutrition on the things that you've talked about, but that means there's also sort of like a portion control on my exercise, because overexertion is going to really deplete all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you, and I talk about exercise in my book, the last section of the book is all about exercise.
Okay.
The most important thing that you should be thinking about getting from exercise is what I call physiologic health. Nutritionists and physiologists don't call it physiological health, but indeed it is, because as you demand things of your body, say that you're eating the perfect diet and now you're getting into exercise.
Okay.
So what you're doing when you exercise, you're telling your body, I need to be able to produce this amount of energy, to work this hard for whatever reason, to survive. If you want to say that, our bodies are designed as survivalists, the fittest, if you want to go to the evolutionary, or however you want to look at it, doesn't matter, it's the same. So you go to the gym and you exercise your body, you're telling your body you need to be able to produce that kind of energy. So what your body does, it starts gearing up to produce that energy. Okay. It starts building up the machinery in the muscle cells, starts to, store up the energy and be able to produce the energy. That's where your strength comes from. Building new fibers in the muscle cells so that more fibers to do the work you're demanding of it. The machinery in the rest of your body, to your heart to be able to pump the blood, your lungs, you're exchanging the oxygen and the CO2. You're just telling your body you need to be able to do this. You need to be able to produce this energy. So your body gears up to do it. And they talk about, if you exercise, after you quit exercising, your body burns energy for a certain amount of time.
Right.
what it's doing is one thing, your body is trying to recover from what you just did, but it's also building up more machinery. It's getting
Yes.
ready. Now, your body's pretty smart about this, because it's not like you can go to the gym. And one of the things that's pretty funny, hear people say all the time, I'd lift weights, but I don't want to get too big. What they
Yes.
don't realize, it takes years of intense workout to get big lifting weights. It doesn't happen overnight. And so, you go to the gym and you lift weights, and you're telling your body, I need to be able to produce this kind of energy. And your body responds, but it says, well, that was a one-time event. You went there and you did this. So I'm not going to get too excited about building up too much reserve or adding more machinery stuff. So it just kind of lets things slide. But you keep going back. And as you do this, your body gets the hint. Okay, I need to be able to do more. And so it's building up the machinery. So it's not something you can just do once or twice. You have to be stimulating your body more days of the week than you're resting it.
Yes.
So you got to work out at least 4 times a week if you want to get any real workout.
That was, yes, what I was just going to ask you. How often? So 4 times a week.
4 times a week, at least 4 times a week. And you need to work out. You need to give your body a reasonable amount of stimulation. So at least an hour to hour and a half is going to be a minimum.
Okay, and so what are these consecutive days, or do I just give my day, my body a day in between to recover from what I just did the day before? How does that work?
Yeah, you need to spread it out.
Okay.
So what I like to do, the minimum I'll do, like I said, 4 days a week. And I like to lift weights still. I'm still doing that. But my routine split, it takes me 2 days to finish my routine. It takes me about an hour and a half routine.
Okay.
It takes me 2 days to cover my body. And then I'll rest a day. I'll do the 2-day workout again, and then I'll rest over the weekend.
I love it.
Now, if I can, I'll throw in some other stuff. I'll catch the other 2 days, but I don't do the same exercises, because when you're building muscle or trying to build strength, you only need to stimulate your muscles about twice a week.
Okay.
If you're really trying to build strength, you don't want to do more than that, because you do enough stress on your muscles. I don't want to say damage, because I don't really believe the muscles get damaged during a workout.
Right.
They get stressed and so forth. But give your muscles time to heal and build up. And so if for a particular muscle group, like you're working biceps, you only need to do biceps twice a week. Now, your biceps get used in a lot of other exercises, but specifically honing in on your biceps twice a week. Now, if you're a runner, you're not hitting your muscles so hard. Still at least 4 days a week, but you can run every day.
Okay.
You probably, if you're a marathon runner, and I'm not a marathon runner, I couldn't coach anybody to be a marathon runner. But from what I know, if they work out, they'll do long runs, short runs, and they've kind of figured it out, how much is too much and how much they really need to do in order to run these marathons.
Okay.
So a lot of that's just, pure experience. There's no real hard science. I try to make it hard science, but it's just too complex of an issue to make it hard science.
Yes.
But, you just have to figure out what you like to do. If you like to do aerobics, you can do the same aerobics routine probably 6 days a week. So, but you got to do it at least 4 times a week and spread it out, because if you do it too much, you say, well, I'm going to do 4 workouts a week, and you do it Monday to Thursday, and then you don't do anything until Monday again. Now you're telling your body, I need this energy and I need to be able to do this. And they say, oh, never mind, I'm just kidding, because you're resting and your body's saying, oh, well, we don't need this. The one thing your body does when you are working like that, you're telling your body you need this extra energy, you need this extra capacity, this extra ability. And so it responds, if it can, nutritionally. And then when you don't use it, your body says, oh, well, I got all this extra machinery sitting around here, and it starts getting rid of stuff. So anybody who's worked out weight-wise, and I can only really speak to weights because that's been my 40 years of weightlifting. Anybody who does that, you train hard consistently for a while, and then you go on vacation for a week.
Okay.
When you come back, you've lost something during that week. And a good rule of thumb for that is it takes as much time to get back to where you were when you laid off as you laid off. So if you lay off for a week, it's going to take you a week to get back to where you were when you stopped. If you lay off for 2 weeks, it's going to take you 2 weeks. And the longer you lay off, then it starts becoming more time. You lay off for 6 months, it might take you a year to get back to where.
Interesting.
So
yes, that is very interesting to think about that, because a lot of times people want to pick up where they left off, and the body can't do that.
no, and I talk about that in the book too, because you look at all these people who want to work out, and they make these New Year's resolutions, and it happens every year at the gym.
Yes.
The first of the year comes along, you say, why is the gym? Oh, yeah, it's first of the year. Everybody makes these New Year's resolutions to work out. I'm going to work out, I'm going to lose some weight, and all this other stuff. So they come to the gym, and they beat themselves silly. And I found a really good story on the internet that I included in my book. And just, somebody is doing this. They got this birthday present of a week's worth of training. It was a training.
Right.
They're so excited to start out. But they get beat up so bad during this week of training that by the end of the week, they're hating the training. This is what drives people away from the gym. They don't approach it appropriately. And what they hope for, this newfound friend that's going to be their physiologic savior, now turns into the big enemy that they just hate it. And it takes them about 2 weeks to reach that point. About 2 weeks, the gym clears out again to the regulars, and they're gone. And but they need to learn how to train so that it's not so ominous. It's not such a horrible experience. It's not your enemy, it's your friend.
Right. And the same with nutrition.
Exactly. And the thing with nutrition is, first off, people have to realize why they're overweight, if that's what their goal is. And if you're skinny, it doesn't mean that you're healthy.
Right.
You can lose weight eating at McDonald's. Whatever the name of that show is, I forget the name. Adult Size Me or something like that, where he eats at McDonald's every day, and he goes in there and says, supersize it, supersize it, and then he eats everything, he gains all this weight. But if you eat appropriately, you go in there and eat whatever you want at McDonald's or Taco Bell or wherever you want to eat. If you eat appropriately for your needs, you can lose weight eating out of those places. It may not be nutritionally sound, you may not improve your nutritional status, but you can lose weight because you're eating fewer calories than your body needs. Your body needs so many calories to function every day with the demands you're putting on whatever you're doing. And if you don't supply those calories, then it has to pull fat stores to get that energy.
Yes.
And so that's the only way you're really going to lose weight. If you're eating enough calories to supply your body's needs, it won't use any of its fat stores. It's just saving them up, which is another point I wanted to bring up. See, you say, well, you exercise, you gain all this stuff, and then you quit exercising, your body throws it away. What's the deal with the fat? Well, the deal with the fat is our bodies are designed to store this fat up so when the famine comes, we can survive through the famine until we get some food again, then we can eat and go on from there.
Right.
So that's a good plan. I mean, the body saves all the excess energy for a bad time. When it needs that energy, then it's got it. But the other stuff, the extra muscle and extra cellular components that your body builds up, it doesn't need those. They're a liability. If you're not using them, it gets rid of them. And so that's why you can't go to the gym and bulk up and say, okay, I've made it. Now I never have to go to the gym again. No, your body's going to get rid of everything that you had it put on there if you don't use it. But the fat it's saving up for a rainy day. So you eat all these things and your body hangs on to it, waiting for that famine to come. Well, the famine never comes. So you just keep putting on the weight. And so people have to realize that it's their eating style that makes them overweight, not their genes, not any other problem they have. It's the way they eat. And even if you're eating the best nutritious, healthy diet that you can possibly eat, you can still gain weight. You're just eating it appropriate for your needs. You're eating too many calories. Your body is hanging on to those extra calories. And
I've got to tell you, I absolutely love it. And I think that our audience really needs an opportunity here to obtain your book so that they can really fully grasp the understanding of nutrition. That is really the ultimate component in addressing our health issues, whether it's from losing weight to, like you said, the reversal of gout. I mean, we're talking about obtaining nutritional necessities for our lives. And not only that, then combining it with the exercise in the how-to. And I just find it very interesting how you've been able to bridge all of these things together and make them very, very succinct so that someone can actually get started and they're not going for fad diets and results that are not nutritionally sound. While they get them, their body is then experiencing something unhealthy in another area, and that could be more detrimental. And even like you had said, exercise. So I want to encourage the audience to obtain a copy of Lies Exposed: The Truth About Dieting, Supplements, Weight Loss, and Exercise, written by Dr. Meline, the one who's been with us today, who can really educate us not only in this short period of time, but via written, but you also have a website too. So I'd like you to give the website and how to obtain a copy of your book. This is really important. I think the audience needs to grab a copy, not only so that they can get nutritionally healthy, but they can share that with other people who may not have the education that they need to get their lives healthy as well.
Yes. The website is www.healthfiascorevealed.com. And that's just HealthFiascoRevealed.com.
I so love it. I so love it. Healthfiasco.com.
And I have, right now I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll be expanding into Instagram and some other social media shortly.
Excellent. So can our audience then connect with you? And are you available to do one-on-one consultations, or are you just encouraging?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm available to do one-on-one stuff. If people have questions, probably the best way to get a hold of me is just get on my website, and there's a link to my email there. They can just send me an email. There's also links to Facebook and Twitter. And Facebook is Health Fiasco Revealed, and Twitter is Dr. Meline Health. But the links are on my website. So just go to the website, click on the links. It'll take you to Facebook or Twitter.
And will it also take us to a location to get a copy of your book?
Yes, there's places on there. Right now, the book is available on Amazon. It's available in paperback and in Kindle, or the electronic Kindle formats, or the Kindle formats.
Outstanding. Outstanding. I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. You have given me such insight on some things, and I thought I had a lot of knowledge because of the research that I have done over many, many years, but you have really simplified it here, and I am anxious to read more and learn more from you because you are real. You're not giving us hype. This is very simplistic. I am really excited, and I want to thank you so much. As I said, you're very prolific. Yes.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And for those of you out there, again, I really encourage you to get a hold of a copy of the book. It's something that I think when you will read how concise it is and how simplified and how much your life can change in a very short period of time. And it's not just losing things, but it's gaining things that will make your complexion, your health internally, your mental clarity be so much better because you're obtaining the right nutrients that you need for your body and combining it with the portion control, not only in that, but in exercise. And the book and the website and all of the things that he's doing is going to help you continue to move forward and stay with it. We don't have to be stuck in, an iron curtain of eat everything off your plate when someone serves you something that you really don't need to ingest. So let's bond together and move forward with this because nutrients are important. Thank you so much for watching today. Make sure that you share this and the information that you learned from this show with your friends, colleagues, and all of those on social media. We want to spread the word on getting healthy. Thank you again. This is Rebecca Sounds Reveille.